2026 meeting of the Metuchen Borough Council. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Said notice was sent to the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger on February 22nd, 2026, posted in Borough Hall on the Borough website. It is on file in the clerk's office. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. And thanks to anybody who's expecting to be here Monday and is now here Wednesday as a result of the rescheduling. We all know why that's the case. Please join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Ms. Zupan.
Councilmember Branch.
Here.
Councilmember Hyman.
Here.
Councilmember Jethwani.
Here.
Councilmember Kendall.
Here.
Councilmember Sukan.
Here.
Council President Delia.
Here.
Mayor Bush.
Here. Is there a motion to open the agenda
I
session?
make a motion to open the agenda
There's
session.
been a motion for the council president. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anything for the agenda session?
Yes, Mayor, I have something I'd like to add to the new business consent agenda. It's a resolution. It's going to be numbered Resolution 2026-104. It's authorizing execution of a second amendment to redevelopment agreement with Metuchen 3 LLC for Block 71, a portion of Lot 3701 and Lot 3702.
There, that's 2026-20 what? I'm sorry.
2026-104
Sorry, 104.
resolution.
Okay, I was off on that. All right, is there anything else for the agenda session? Any issues?
That's it.
Okay, that's been the only one. Is there a motion to close the agenda session?
I make a motion to close the agenda session.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're closing the agenda session, and we have public comment now. Anyone wishing to address the Metuchen Borough Council? And the mayor can come up to the microphone. Just name and address for the record, please. Hi.
I'm Diane Glancy. I live at 127 Rose Street, Metuchen. My house or my property was the one affected by the tree that fell on Rose Street. So my reason for coming tonight is because I wanted the mayor and the council to be aware. I've been, as well as several of my neighbors, we have been concerned about that tree and the
I'm sorry, the one that's
sister.
leaning you're talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
that one, as well as the sister tree that's still leaning and hasn't fallen yet. But we had addressed this with the borough. I had spoken with Brian right before Thanksgiving. He was going to the League of Municipalities conference, he told me. He would address it when he came back. And so I have been in contact with him several times to address our concerns, which were, it's overgrown, it was top-heavy, it had dropped branches, it was swaying, and it was definitely leaning towards our homes and our properties. We were concerned not only for ourselves, but for the people, the commuters, the kids that walk that street. So we were very concerned about this, and he, at that time, said he would address it. What happened, and some of the responses I had gotten, was, well, it was leaning towards the sun, he told me. He also told me that it had deep roots, and that someone would look at it. Well, nothing was really done that I was aware of. And then I actually enlisted Pam Brown, who used to be on your council. She actually reached out to you, Melissa, I believe. I also left a message for Melissa the beginning of January, around the 13th. Never got a phone call back. So I was really upset about this because I really feel like we tried to prevent a catastrophe, which luckily no one was injured or no one was killed. If it had happened at a different time of day, someone would have been injured or killed. That tree was massive. So my concern is, A, how could this have been prevented? What steps were taken? I feel like the borough did not address our concerns of this tree. And I really want to stress the concern about the tree that's still there.
All right, thank you. I'm going to turn to our borough administrator, who's just right here. So Melissa, if you want to address the specifics, and then if I have anything
Sure.
else,
Hi there. So first off, the trees that you're talking about, they're wires that are by them. We cannot touch those trees until we get PSC&G to come out and evaluate because they are in wires. Brian had reached out to PSC&G a couple of times. We're at their mercy in terms of what they think is a priority. PSC&G is in our town a lot. We have a lot of old trees, okay? We did discuss the tree, But like anything else, this was not something that presented an imminent hazard at the time, okay? Now, I know you have a difference of opinion on that, but we had a forestry person come out from PSE&G to take a look at it,
So
okay?
this was a certified arborist that looked at this tree?
Aspen whoever Aspen uses, which is the service that PSE&G contracts out to. I don't hire them, so I don't know all their credentialing,
I
okay?
did see Aspen tree, and what I was told from Brian when they did come out was the tree was not by the tree lines. I don't think he assessed the tree.
Okay, all I can tell you is what I heard. I was not there, okay? But the issue here is we cannot take down trees that are in the wires. We are under the mercy and the whatever PSC&G does, they do priorities. We have a lot of old trees in town, okay? We even had, I do believe, the Shade Tree Commission at one point. Ken Salmon came out to take a look at it because Ken is very knowledgeable in this. We're very lucky to have someone in the community who has a knowledge base. I think I recognize your frustration, but there was no indication up to that point that that tree created the kind of imminent danger that, you know, it did fall. But it wasn't something that anyone thought was going to happen imminently, okay? The tree that you're talking about now, the other tree, we have got the attention of PSC&G because the other one did come down. They are going to be working on it. Brian spoke to them yesterday. But again, we're at the mercy of PSC&G and their tree team when it comes to doing things in the wires.
Okay, but the tree that fell was not in the wires because PSE&G, according to Brian, said the wires were not touching the tree. So where do we stand with that then?
Okay, but ma'am, the tree came down. People looked at it and didn't think it posed an imminent hazard. We have
Well,
a
I'd like
lot
to see
of.
that report.
There's no report, ma'am. We can't have a report for every tree.
Let me just jump in for a second. So what the borough administrator is saying is correct, that one of the things we love about Metuchen is how many big trees we have. One of the things that is most difficult about Metuchen is that we have so many big trees.
Which is why we moved here.
Right. The trees,
50 years ago.
right, the trees are,
okay?
and a lot of people, why people move here today. But it does create some issues. And frankly, when we have storms, our community is not, this is not an alarmist comment I'm trying to make, but it's true, and it's something that causes me to lose sleep sometimes at night, that when we have storms, whether it's in the summer or whether it's the storm we had the other day, we are more at risk than some other communities because of the level of the age of a lot of these trees that are embedded within these neighborhoods. So here's what we're going to say. I'm going to say, obviously, we're going to review the circumstances that you brought to our attention. It's important that you came here. I know you're passionate. I can see it, that you're very passionate about this.
No, I'm angry. I'm really angry.
Okay,
Tell you
I
the
didn't want,
truth.
I didn't want to tell you how you were feeling. I was
I
just trying
am
to
very
describe the
angry.
emotion. Okay, so your anger is coming through, and that's a good thing because it means that you've expressed it to us. We will look at the circumstances. I was looking at my phone just now to see if I could find the tree because I was sent a picture of the sister tree, the one that hasn't fallen, and I looked at it that day, and we were concerned about it. One of the things that we specifically said was we wanted to speak to PSE&G, like as they're going around. They had left after, once I got a picture of that tree, they had left, and they had left to triage, right? They were going around to not just Metuchen, they were going around to the whole region. That's the contractor for PSE&G. You know, storm management is what is an imminent threat at that moment. And what's an imminent threat changes depending on what's available. And at that moment, there were probably lots of trees, not just at Metuchen, but elsewhere where this company was being dispatched to. So we will review it. If we have to do whatever we can to get higher ups at PSE&G, we will talk to them about this. But at the end of the day, it's not just an issue, unfortunately, it's not just an issue in front of your home, it's an issue throughout the community. We have lots of old trees, some of which are threatened, and some of them are threatening power lines.
Yeah, I think too, my concern was it properly evaluated? Because I could see holes in the bottom of the base of that tree. So was it really evaluated properly? I know that Pam had told me that someone was supposed to come out to look at the tree and knock on my door. I stayed at home the entire day waiting.
That's frustrating.
No one came.
Okay, well,
No call back was to me, like I said, and I feel like we kind of, were left hanging. And then this disaster happened, and it impacted, and I saw your Facebook note, about 250 people, mostly because of Rose Street, that tree that fell, which could have been prevented if it was properly assessed.
Diane, that's why I asked for a picture of that tree to be sent to me, because I wasn't able to make it there myself. So I appreciate what you're saying. It's a concern, and I can see your anger over it, and we hear it. The council members hear it. The borough administrator hears it. We will take a closer look at it. We will speak to DPW. We will make sure that it was properly evaluated. I will say from a legal perspective that when organizations like PSE&G and their contractor and the borough, look at things, we have to dot every I and cross every T. I don't know that a specific written report exists necessarily, but when you have someone look at something, their opinion matters as to what decisions are made and when. So that's all I'm going to say. I appreciate, but your coming here was productive, right? We heard you. We're going to do what we can, and I appreciate you bringing this to our attention.
So now what kind of a response should we expect from the other tree on regards to that tree?
Go ahead.
It's on PSE&G's radar. They might be out Friday, but I can't determine. I'm not the person who's scheduling them. We had a chat today, and Plunk, I think, is going to come out Friday or early next week.
You mean they're going to cut it down? Is that what you're
They are
saying?
going to take it out, yes.
Okay.
But again, just like you wait in your home sometimes for someone to come and deliver something or, for an appointment, we as a borough are at the mercy of PSEG. That doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean we don't voice our disappointment with the government affairs representatives when that happens. But this is obviously a very busy time for PSEG. So we're cutting them a little slack. On the other hand, we need to advocate for our residents, and we will, okay?
I'll be happy if it's down by next week.
I will be happy to. Diane,
Like
I'll
I
be as
said, I've
happy as
been
you
working
are.
on this since before Thanksgiving. I mean, months we're talking where it should have been properly evaluated and, looked at
Yep.
from an arborist standpoint and provide some kind of documentation to us
Thank
to
you.
satisfy our concerns. That's my point, I think.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Your point has been registered, and I
Okay,
appreciate it. Okay,
thank
thank
you.
you. Any other comments from the community? If you come up to the microphone, just name and address for the record, please.
My name's Carl Loveland. I'm the resident at 117 Rose, and that other tree is in direct line when it falls to my house. And so it's been a big concern for many of the residents in that area. So I appreciate that they're coming out to look at it. I hope that they're going to take it out because one nor'easter is all it's going to take for that tree, because that's the way the wind blows. And I've watched it many times. And so appreciate you stepping up and getting that taken care of us.
We're going to do our very best. I'm sure it's hard to sleep knowing that. Thank you, Carl. Okay. All right. Well, you're 117, right, Rose Street, right, obviously.
Get your
yeah.
mail some.
Any other members of the community looking to, thank you for bringing that to our attention, all of you. Any other members of the community looking to address the council? No? Okay. All right. We're going to close public comment. We're going to move on to the ordinance introduction.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2026-04 by title only?
Okay, ordinance 2026-04, an ordinance repealing Article 21, Affordable Housing, and Article 14B, Development Fees in Chapter 110, Land Development, and repealing Chapter 49, Affirmative Marketing, and enacting Chapter 49, Affordable Housing of the Code of the Borough of Metuchen to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act, FHA, as amended, and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls, UHAC, as amended, regarding compliance with the borough's affordable housing obligations.
Thank you. I move that ordinance 2026-04 be passed on first reading, published according to law, and a public hearing set down for Monday, March 9th, 2026.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Councilmember Sukhan?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next ordinance. Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2026-05 by title only?
Okay, ordinance 2026-05, ordinance of the Borough of Metuchen adopting a redevelopment plan for 12 and 16 Pearl Street within the Borough of Metuchen, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Thank you. I move that ordinance 2026-05 be passed on first reading, published according to law, and a public hearing set down for Monday, March 9th, 2026.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Zupan.
Okay, Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Councilmember Sukhan?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, and Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2026-06 by title only?
Ordinance 2026-06, ordinance of the Borough of Metuchen adopting an amendment to the amended redevelopment plan for the expanded Metuchen Arts District within the Borough of Metuchen, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
Thank you. I move that ordinance 2026-06 be passed on first reading, published according to law, and a public hearing set down for Monday, March 9th, 2026.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A roll call vote, please.
Okay, Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Kandel?
Yes.
Councilmember Sukhan?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And last one, Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2026-07 by title only?
Ordinance 2026-07, ordinance to amend pool fees.
Thank you. I move that ordinance 2026-07 be passed on first reading, published according to law. A public hearing set down for Monday, March 9th, 2026. We'll be busy that day, for sure.
March 9th?
Yeah. Got these four.
We have
ordinances.
4 ordinances. That was 5 ordinances. I thought you were potentially suggesting there was something else besides these 5. Maybe there will be.
Actually, just for the record, there is another
Yeah,
ordinance.
there is another ordinance that'll be on. We had to pull the salary ordinance that we introduced at the last meeting because we didn't have enough time to actually advertise that and publish it for the public hearing.
Okay, that's fine. Do we have a motion? And so that was, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there a roll call we can
Yep.
do here? Great.
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Kandel?
Yes.
Councilmember Sukhan?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, great. We do not have a Borough Administrator report right now. Council President, do you have a report?
Yeah, a quick one. Just want to remind everyone about the master plan update that the borough is currently undergoing. We have a section on our website. It's very easy to get to. If you go to our borough website, metuchennj.org, underneath the residents tab, there's the master plan link. And in that link, you'll find information about the current master plan, as well as several surveys, including a brand-new survey that just came out today for historic preservation. So if you've already taken the community vision survey and the climate ready survey, please hop on back and take the historic preservation survey as well. And if you haven't taken any of them, what are you doing? Let's go, get this done. We need your input, we need your feedback, please. So again, borough website, residents, master plan. Thank you.
Council President, how long does it take to do a survey?
The vision survey is a little bit longer, but keep in mind, this is going to impact and set the direction for this community for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So even if it's 15 minutes, I think it's well worth your time. That's my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember Sukhan?
Yes, I only have one thing to say. The Arts Council January meeting was postponed due to snow, as was the one last week. So now their reorganization meeting will be held on Monday, March 16th. And if we get snow, then I'm moving to Bermuda. So,
I saw somebody say something really not nice about the groundhog online. I think I might behead the groundhog, someone wrote, which I thought was really harsh, but funny to the extent that the groundhog saw however many weeks, 6 more weeks of winter, I
I
guess.
didn't give him credit, he called it.
He called it. Sometimes these animals know more than we know, right? Okay. Councilmember Kandel?
Yep, the pool commission met 2 weeks ago and reviewed the budget analysis from the 2025 season, as well as the proposed budget for 2026. The commission also reviewed the revenue projections that were prepared by Ms. Cuthbert and Ms. Perlstein, which included reasonable rate increases for the 2026 season, and which will ensure that the pool will continue to remain a sustainable utility for the borough. Those proposed rate increases are incorporated into the amended pool fee ordinance that was presented for first reading tonight. I want to thank the commission, Ms. Cuthbert and Ms. Perlstein, for their hard work and collaboration, and we look forward to getting out of this nasty winter and opening the pool membership, or the early pool membership, on March 16th. For the fire department in 2025, the Metuchen Fire Department underwent a review by the Insurance Services Office, which is commonly referred to as ISO. The ISO, as I've recently learned, is the gold standard for measuring how well the community is protected from fire emergencies. A high ISO score is a badge of honor, which can lead to lower insurance premiums. I want to congratulate the Metuchen Fire Department on its designation as ISO Class 3, having moved up from ISO Class 4, up from 4 to 3. This is a significant achievement for the fire department and represents a transition from being previously designated as, quote, very good to now being exceptional, and places the department in the top tier of all fire protection services nationwide. So congratulations to Chief Donnan and his whole department. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilmember Jethwani.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. Wanted to mention that the next Library Board of Trustees meeting will be held Tuesday, March 10th at 7 p.m. at the library. And also that, well, as liaison to the library and to the History Advisory Committee, I'm excited to mention that on March 1st, from 1 to 4 p.m., the library will host Local History Day with the theme Revolution. The Metuchen Edison Historical Society will have materials and presentations in commemoration of the nation's 250th anniversary. Also, the next History Advisory Committee meeting will be held tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. here at Borough Hall, where, as the council president mentioned, I will be reiterating the importance of filling out the new survey component for the master plan. Finally, I just want to, again, thank the Metuchen Volunteer EMS for their hard work, braving the cold and snow and responding when we need them most. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Councilmember Hyman.
I have no reports, thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilman Branch.
Thank you. Before I begin, shout out to DPW, the borough. I think we did a great job as far as getting snow off the ground, getting salt on the ground, et cetera, et cetera. So keep up the good work, but I know it's not easy. So thanks for the hard work, keeping us safe. Recreation Commission update. The annual Sweetheart Dance is upon us almost. It'll be March 13th at the Pines Manor. That is a Saturday, as always. But registration closes on February 25th. There will be no registration at the door. There will be no bribes, et cetera, et cetera. So please register by February 25th to get your place. All
Councilmember
right.
Branch, you said March 13th is Saturday?
Is it March 13th, or did I write it backwards?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we got the
Did
right
it
date.
say
It's
31st?
March 14th.
14th. I didn't have my glasses on when I wrote it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Councilmember Kendall. Environmental Commission, speaking of the master plan, I attended a meeting this morning with our council president, or commission president for EC, as well as Chris Cosenza, as well as Linda Koskoski with the borough, and we just discussed feedback from the Environmental Commission toward the master plan. Very good meeting. I had to leave early, but I'm excited that we're getting input from our commissions. Chris Cosenza said we have 500 responses towards one of the surveys, and he'd like 1,000. So, to the 500 people who watch this meeting every Monday, twice a month, please sit down and complete the survey. We'll be done. And the Environmental Commission is also working on flyers for do's and don'ts of recycling in Metuchen. I know I improperly recycle every once in a while, so it's very important. So that'll clear up a lot of confusion for a lot of people like me. So we're looking forward to that. I'm sure it'll be on the Borough Facebook page and other properties. And that's it.
And the dance is Friday the 13th.
That's tight. Friday the 13th. That's hot. That is super cool.
You two done? All right.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
We had a heck of a snowstorm. The last two snowstorms, the last two big snowstorms this winter are the two largest I've had since I've been mayor, and I've been mayor now for 8+ years. So happening both in the same winter is pretty extraordinary. Knock wood, we don't have any more like that this winter, but we very well may have one even apparently next week. There's another conversation lingering. I got our director of Office of Emergency Management in the back, coordinator, I should say, of Office of Emergency Management / Chief of Police in the back of the council chambers. And, the two of us work closely, and the department works very closely with our office as these storms come around. I want to say this publicly because it's important to acknowledge the work but people worked their tails off this week in this community. You know, there's always going to be concerned citizens when people have to stay home, when their property is threatened, when there are, health risks associated with things like storms. People become really concerned, and there's a lot of worry about the roads, and there's a lot of worry about ice, and there's a lot of worry about, how our borough responds to it. There's significant concern, I've heard directly from residents with respect to the post office, and the fact that they're not doing their job to clear their sidewalks. Residents obviously are complaining that certain neighbors aren't clearing their sidewalks. There are so many elements to storm management, from asking people to move their cars, to asking people to be careful while they shovel and reminding them, to reminding people of their responsibility to shovel their sidewalks, to making sure that DPW has enough food to make it through a 24-hour shift, to making sure that our DPW is awake while they're driving very, very heavy equipment, to making sure our equipment is fixed as it breaks down during storms like these, to making sure that the state does what it's supposed to do, the county does what it's supposed to do. There's so much coordination. PSE&G needs to come out. We have 250 people without, units, residents without power. There's so many things going on simultaneously when there's a storm, and I'm not sure that the average resident necessarily realizes it, but the one thing I appreciate about this place is people's patience. I know my fellow mayors didn't necessarily have the same level of patience as people in this community did, and the appreciation for the hard work of our police department, our Office of Emergency Management, in particular, our Chief of Police is here, Artie Flaherty, but also our Deputy Office of Emergency Management Director, Keith O'Brien, did a fabulous job during this particular storm. Our Captain of our Police Department, Bob Beluccio, did a really great job. We had, our DPW was just, they just do what's required. And it's, these storms, for whatever reason, love us on weekends this year. Not sure what the story is, but that means that they've got to come in on their weekends away from their families, away from their activities, and they don't get those days off. So I just want to publicly thank everyone, from the residents to the hardworking borough staff, employees. I hope I didn't leave anyone. Is anyone else that's going to be upset that I left them out? I don't want anyone to feel left out. This was like a huge group effort. Anyone else on the DPW side or the? No, we got it all. Okay, so thank you, everyone, and until the next time. Good job, and we'll continue to clean up as needed, including, for example, the issue that was raised with us during public comment with respect to the tree on Rose Street. With that, new business consent agenda.
Yes, Mayor, I make a motion to approve the new business consent agenda, resolutions 2026-90 to 2026-102 and 2026-104.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-103, authorizing the payment of the bill list in the amount of $4,472,612.29.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, hold on. You have to set the second? Who seconded
second.
that? You said second. Okay, the second was.
Pre-eyed it.
This second without former council member John Boy is confusing. It's
Yeah, it's weird.
but I like it, that it's a little bit like a who can get the second. Gets us a little more efficient.
Tyler.
All right, meeting adjourned. Enjoy, everyone.